Next you're going to need something like this. The end of this is TRRS. This means it can send a signal and receive a signal, and in this one, as you can see there, if I hold it right, we've got a microphone in one side and headphones in the other, and this will work with not only Android but also Apple products. You need a microphone, and I'm using a fairly standard one, the one I use on a Wednesday night. It's a £12 eBay condenser mic, and the connection on the end of here, as you can see, has got two rings, and this is the TRS, and this will fit into the microphone socket on this here, which in turn goes into the audio socket on the side of the device. It also needs some headphones, so you can actually monitor what you're doing. You can use earbuds if you want to, and that plugs into that side of the unit. So altogether, the cost of this, the microphone was about £12. This small device here, I think I bought two of those for £2.49 off eBay, and that's about all you'll need. Most people have got some earbuds or some headphones knocking around in the house, so you haven't got to buy those. Well, tonight we're going to be looking at a piece of software for Android phones and tablets. It's called J4T Multi-Tracker, and this is a sort of mini recording studio that I discovered a few days ago. Thought it was a fairly simple piece of software until I actually got under the hood, and I found that it was as good as some of the £50 and £60 pieces of software on PCs, etc. When you open the program, you're met with this screen. You can open a new session, open the last session, or you can open the session folder to look at previous things that you've actually done. In this case, we're going to start a new session, and you can rename the session to whatever you want. It may be you've got a name for your creation, and you can put it in there. Now, before I explain this screen to you, if you look at the top here, there are some menus. And to get at the menus a lot easier, if you swipe right across like that, then the menus are actually there for you. And you've got new, open, save as. You can set your sample rate, and sample rate normally should be 44K. That's a recommended thing for any digital recording sessions. Any lower than that and you start to have a bit of dropout and you lose quality. 48, if you start using that, you can have a little difficulty using a lot of memory up, etc. If we come down to the mic setting down here and we click on audio source, it's actually picked up voice recognition, which means that it's found the microphone that I'm using, and it's not going to use the internal mic which is there. The camcorder part is the actual video settings inside the Kindle and the screen, etc. Now here you can adjust your volume to exactly how you want it, and you click OK there. You can get some info which tells you all about the actual program. These are little drop down menus, quite handy, and you've also got FAQs. These are quite handy as well to try and troubleshoot any problems you might have. It's got everything built in for it. It's got a lyrics page there, so you can type your lyrics in, no problem whatsoever, and you can bounce tracks, which I'll explain in a few minutes. Right, we're back to the main screen now. So try and explain this main screen to you. You've got 4 tracks and only 4 tracks. So if you decide that you want 6 tracks, what you're going to have to do is record on tracks 1, 2 and 3 and then bounce that track to track 4. So you'll have one recording on track 4 and then it frees up your other tracks to carry on doing recordings, etc. you've got a record button there, you've got that's the volume, you've got mute and solo, and you've got pan across the top. Over here you've got your transport controls. Here you've got your metronome, etc., and your tempo, and you can set up 3/4 time, 4/4 time, whatever you want, and you can pan left and right with the metronome settings. I'm just going to leave those as they are. The top of the screen here, this is where you can see what you're actually recording. It'll be a straight line, but as I go through this, you'll start to see waveforms, etc. come on. Okay, let's start to have a look at creating our first track. If I click on the track name, it brings another menu up where you can copy, delete, import, export, edit, or you can add effects. And this has quite surprised me when I saw this add effects button, because there are quite a few there, and they're all very, very useful. So in this case, we would say we're going to have vocals first, and we have the compressor, we'd have an equalizer, and maybe reverb, and we press OK, and you can see on the side here that it's added those to it. If you didn't want anything, there's a little cross there, and you click on that cross and it will just take that out. The little light there, if you click on that, it will turn that device off, and all these are controllable. You can mess around all over the place and get it exactly how you want it. You can do this in either pre-production or in post-production, where you can listen to your recording and you can start to make adjustments there. So it's really easy if you make a mistake at the start to actually get back to it. Now we're just going to start a track, and I'm just going to be talking on this. I haven't really got room to get a guitar set up as I'm trying to film this on my iPhone. So if we press the record button and we now start, and I'm just going to start to talk into that, and you can see the line going across, and you can see the volume going on there, and it's actually picking up what I'm saying now. So to stop it, you can press the record button, or you can press and one of the transport buttons over here. When you want to go to the second track, if you mute the first track, go to the second track, and that may be a guitar. So you probably want compressor, equalizer, and maybe chorus. So I think we've got all those, and we press OK, and we've got our things there, which once again, well, we can start to mess around with, etc. So if we come back, we've got that track muted, so it's not going to pick anything up there, and we can then start to record on track 2. Okay, we're recording on track 2. Not very interesting, just the sound of my voice, unfortunately, but it's giving you some idea of what's actually going on. Now if we click stop there, and if I unmute that one, I've got a speaker set up, and you should be able to hear what's going on when I rewind it across. Well, unfortunately the speaker wasn't very clear there. To play back what you've recorded, you need to go back to the start, unmute any tracks you've got muted, and then just press the play button there, and it will play. Unfortunately the speaker I've got set up is not being picked up partly by the camera, so I can't actually demo what you can hear. Now if you want to edit your work, if you press on track 1 and you click on the edit button, and you can now see the waveform, and you can loop, you can snap, you can do solos, etc., and you can zoom in on that and try and work out what's actually going on with your waveform. So if we just click edit and we have a look at what's there, you can fade in and out, you can copy and paste, you can normalize, you can amplify, and you can do quite a few things there. So that's quite handy, and it may take you a while to actually to get used to that. Normalize is probably the one that most people use the most. So we save our changes and we come back, and then we go to track 2 and we want to edit, and once again we can see our waveform and you can see it's a little high, so we'll normalize that, and then we'll go back, save our changes, and we'll probably have to bring the volumes down on these when they play back. It's a fairly simple piece of software. This is the light version, which is free, and the paid version is £2.49, and I really think that £2.49 is a small price to pay for a really interesting piece of software. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on bits and pieces. You've normally got some headphones, you'll need an adapter, which I've shown you at the start, and a microphone, and away you go, and you can use your guitar and capture everything with the microphone, use your voice. If you want to import drums, you can actually import an audio track, an MP3 file, and you can have drums there. Or you could import a backing track and then do your work over the top of the backing track. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.